Remember. Thank you, Alex. For how many of you are the years flying by? You feel like one after another, with no really big marks in there to break it up? How many of you, though, can remember a time in your life where it is so clear, could be 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, but that period of your life remains forever ingrained in your head? Do you have those moments as well? Yeah? Were they around milestones? Tell me a little bit, what pops out when you think that was a year I can remember? What was happening that year? Anyone?
Getting married?
Like childhood summers.
Yeah, childhood summers. Getting married is a huge mile marker. Remember that one. Hopefully we do. Any others?
First year of college.
First year of college, very big mile markers. As we get older, do you feel like you have those now? No? I know for me personally, I was commenting at a family party the other day when, of course, you catch up with family, you're like, how are you doing? And I thought, well, man, things haven't really changed in a couple of years now. I feel like it's pretty much the same. Of course, I bring up Toastmasters when I can because I'm very excited about that. But I can tell you what popped to my mind when that person asked me. I thought back to the year that stood out to me most, and that was the year that my husband and I hosted an exchange student. And that was a fantastic year. It was 3 years ago when I started my new job working with an exchange organization, and I thought, wow, if I'm working with an exchange organization, I've been an exchange student, but I really have to walk the walk. I'm asking people to host students, so we better host. It was the best decision I could have made because I thought I knew all about the experience, but I knew all about it from one perspective, from here being the student and being hosted and being in a new country and experience everything there. And now that I had the opportunity to experience being the host, and I thought it was going to be really different, but you know what I started to realize is that there were so many things that tie those experiences together, both being an exchange student and hosting, and that's what I'd like to share with you today. Those are novelty, understanding, and, I can remember this one, and growth. So novelty, understanding, and growth. So novelty, when Alonzo stepped off of the plane and my husband and I met him at the airport, of course I was thinking I'm hosting a young teenager. You generally host students for either 6 months or a year who are ages 15 to 18. So I'm thinking little kid in my head, basically, this shy little kid. And coming out of the door, we're holding up his name, Alonzo, and this gentleman that's about my height, but full 5 o'clock shadow beard, steps out there and says, Megan, Marty? And he's 18 years old when he arrived, and such a chill guy. I remember my moment when I stepped off the plane. I was extremely nervous. I was happy to meet my host, but Alonzo's just cool. It's like grabbing his bag. How you doing, Alonzo? Good. Yeah, how was the flight? Good. It's like, just chill. Put the bag in the trunk of the car, start talking to him about his life. Have you been to the US before? Yeah, we visited Miami with my family. You know, got him talking a little bit. And I thought, well, maybe this is just how he is when he's nervous. He's just very cool under pressure. And starting out our hosting experience, that first week, couple months was very novel. Everything that we did together was new. Taking him to Costco, seeing his big wide eyes at the enormous shelves and everything you buy under one roof. Taking him to school was novel for me. I don't have any kids. And of course my husband was thinking, if we're thinking about have kids one day, we want to work backwards. Maybe we won't hurt or kill or maim an 18-year-old. He should be able to take care of himself. We'll test it out. Luckily, we kept him in one piece, gave him back to his natural parents at the end. But that for me was novel. So here I was thinking, I'm offering this incredible novel experience to the student, and I'm experiencing novelty through that. And not only seeing novelty in his eyes, but me going into school with him on that first day, getting him signed up for classes. You know, it felt new. It felt like my first day of school. And remembering all of that, bringing everything back. So month after month passes, and we start to get more comfortable as a family. And in that comfortable feeling, there starts to become this feeling of understanding. And it's a feeling of connection that you have with someone and acceptance at the same time. And I remember as an exchange student, when I had those moments It was after the honeymoon period of thinking everything was so new and I loved it to, wow, sinking in, I'm going to be here a full year. It doesn't seem new and fancy anymore. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to get used to this. And I could see that happening with Alonzo, but also enjoying that as a comfortable feeling where we were getting to know each other, we could joke around with each other. He and my husband would sit there playing FIFA all day afternoon. I'd have to tell them, guys, don't you want to take a break? No, they're still playing. So there's this really great level of understanding together. And I remember for me, it was an understanding of, this is not my year, this is his year. And the first couple months, I felt like I had to entertain him, go out, do things. But he was just such a chill kid. A good afternoon with him was playing FIFA with my husband, hanging out with the dogs, just chilling. That was a good afternoon for him. Meanwhile, for me, a good afternoon when I was an exchange student was like out and meeting friends and doing things, but it wasn't my year, it was his. And I was starting to understand that and to understand him and feeling closer. And the last part, growth. And I think growth didn't hit me until after he left. But growth, I got to see Alonzo grow through the experience. I remember the day he came home from school. It's like, Megan, I got lost, but I got myself back. And he was so proud, so proud. You think of those moments like, great, okay, kid, you got lost and you got yourself back. But in a big city, in Chicago, to do that by yourself, take the bus, what that meant for him was a huge confidence booster. And he got that here. I remember the day he went and paid his own T-Mobile bill. He had his own cell phone, and of course I was like, okay, Alonzo, you gotta pay your bill. He was like, Megan, after school I went to pay my T-Mobile bill. It's a big deal. That's a rite of passage for a young kid, handling his money, knowing when he has to pay. My own growth, I think, happened when I found out he was leaving early because he had applied to college. He got accepted in a university in Miami, which is a very grown-up thing, and he was moving on. But he got accepted for the summer courses, so he had to leave in April. And my husband and I were not ready to say goodbye to him. And that's when I realized that I had grown through my conversations and through the time together, and that I was going to miss this little Alonzo, full beard, little guy, had been in and then out of my life, but always there. So if you are considering that you'd like a little change of pace in your life, and you'd like more novelty, more understanding, and more growth, think about that. What would that mean for you in your life? So go out and find that. Or you could just host an exchange student. So if that's the case, you can come talk to me afterwards. Thank you.